Webb. I'm the former state president for the League of Women Voters and running the solar campaign, Make Florida #1 in solar. We are here on the brink and in the middle of really an epic David and Goliath battle. And this is the citizens of Florida against the monopoly utilities. The monopoly utilities have raised $26 million to trick Florida voters into thinking Amendment 1 is good. We need to help make voters aware of this trickery, and we have an historic occasion also because of the diversity and the breadth of the voices that are being heard on this very important and epic David and Goliath battle. Groups and political parties from all across the state and every corner have said no to this, and 25 newspapers have said no to this. Not a single newspaper media outlet has endorsed it. So today you will have the opportunity to hear from leaders and citizens from across our community, business voices, civic voices, and just a whole range. So I am now going to introduce our speakers one by one. Please join me in a rousing welcome to our speakers today. We are going to start with Bishop Carol Johnson, who is the Bishop of the Life Vision Church in Orlando, Florida.
Hey, let's vote no on 1. Do you know that the sun today puts out enough energy in the United States to power everything in this country for the next year and a half? And in this election, Amendment 1 is an attempt by the big utility companies to take control of the power of the sun in Florida for the foreseeable future. We can't allow that to happen. And that's why we're voting no on Amendment 1. The other thing that really angers me about it is that they have framed the argument as a means of protecting the low income and the poor people, elderly people in Florida from subsidizing solar for wealthier folks. Now, I've grown up in a lot of urban areas, and I can tell you that most people struggle in low-income neighborhoods to keep the lights on every month. And oftentimes they lose. And I can tell you that the utility companies don't give a darn about the fact that there may be a sick child or an elderly person in there in the dark. Many people have lost their lives, lost their homes by trying to power themselves with candles. So it's a big red flag when the utility companies say that they're going to put $20 million together to teach us that they care a lot for us. I'm not buying it. I don't think any of you all are either. So what I'd like to see, if they could put $20 million together in a fund to campaign for their interest in solar, I like to see them take that $20 million and put it in a fund for low-income people and elderly people to subsidize solar for them. How about that? And if you could spend $20 million, how about putting together a fund for community solar in our neighborhoods so that people that rent and people that don't have the ability to afford solar can do so as well. But that's for November 9th. But for November 8th, amen, our job is to make sure that Amendment 1 goes down. And I tell you, I think God approves this message. Thank you.
Very well, perfectly said.
Now I'm going to introduce David Click. And David Click is part of the ESA renewables solar installer. So David, come and talk to us about what you do.
All right. Howdy. So I'm Dave Click. I'm a Vice President of Engineering for ESA Renewables. We're based in Stanford. We provide solutions for residential, commercial, and utility scale solar power. The Amendment 1 campaign makes three promises, all of which are misleading. First, they claim the amendment promotes solar in the Sunshine State. It does nothing to actually change the status quo or to improve it. Second, they claim that the amendment guarantees your right to put solar on your home, but you already have this in the Florida statutes. And finally, they claim that the amendment protects Florida customers, but the amendment actually does the opposite. That's what I'll be talking about today. So on your electric bill every month, you pay your electric utility according to how much energy you consume from their power plants. So if you had a 2-week outage after Hurricane Matthew, what would you pay them during those 2 weeks? $0, as it should be. And awesome, I lost my speech. There it is. All right. I should have printed this out, technology. All right, so on your electric bill every month, let's see, this is embarrassing. All right, so you pay $0, as it should be. So now if you purchase a solar power system for your home, you're buying your own power plant for your roof. You might want that same protection you have from your electric utility. And if your personal power plant breaks down for 2 weeks, shouldn't you be able to stop paying your installer until they fix it? This structure of paying only for the energy produced from a system through what's called a PPA, a power purchase agreement. Got it? All right.
Oh, come on. Where's Sunrail when we need it? Right, whiz right through. We get this long train.
It's a coal train.
It's a coal train. Coal train. Looks like a coal train.
Coal train. Oh dear. Taking coal to the power plant in Central Florida. Hot dog.
All right, am I good to go? All right. So this structure of paying only for the energy produced from a system through what's called a PPA, or a power purchase agreement, is the most natural way to structure a solar project. When Disney wanted to install a 5 megawatt solar system, how did they pay for it? Through a PPA. When Orlando Utilities Commission wanted to install a 6 megawatt system, how did they pay for it? Through a PPA. When OUC wanted to do another 12 megawatts, how did they do it? Through a PPA. When our company developed over 100 megawatts for solar for Duke, how does Duke pay us for the energy? Through about 25 PPAs. If these companies all use power purchase agreements for their own protection, how could we possibly support an amendment that denies the citizens of Florida the same basic common sense protection? To me, the most unfortunate part of this amendment isn't just that millions of dollars are going to be wasted, but that the utilities pushing this absurd amendment haven't attempted to have any real discussions with the solar industry about how we can actually work together. I wanted to be really crystal clear here. The solar industry does not want to drive the utilities out of business or to make them go bankrupt. Utilities are installing hundreds of megawatts in solar over the coming years, and we'd like to be alongside them installing tens of thousands of systems ourselves, because we're passionate about clean energy. And the best part is we can do all of this without actually impacting the bills of non-solar customers. We can actually save them money in the long run as well. This is how the free market is reshaping the electric grid here in Florida. This is how we're going from 50 power plants to 500,000 over the next couple of years. And we can all work together to bring solar power, jobs, and customer choice to every county in Florida. I look forward to doing that immediately after we stop this ridiculous amendment. So thank you.
Thank you very much, David.